people I didn't know a month ago. I have become very dependent on that.
In both practical and emotional ways, or what?
Actually, yes. In both, definitely in practical and more tellingly in emotional ways. Never would have opened up that quickly to strangers. Well, strangers in this bigger cosmic perspective, as someone once told me, is I don't have any strangers, just a part of me I haven't met yet. And so that is, that's a terrific truth. And depending on how I approach people and how I engage with them, they are either strangers that I'm letting in slowly, or on the opposite, they are a part of me I haven't met yet, and when you need them, and you can be open and vulnerable to them quickly, the difference in response is amazing. I'm getting many gifts. As I said, be careful what you ask for. I want to feel. Well, I'm feeling because I really need to go through this. So I think that we'll see more of that because it's clear that we need to come together. We need to pull together. This is harder than it looked. It's harder than we thought. And we can help each other much more than we have been. So I think I'll see more of that. I'll see more openness. I'll see more people helping other people for absolutely no good reason at all. Random acts of kindness, right? The bumper sticker. They're occurring. They're going to occur more. The other theme that I'm very enthusiastic about it's not exactly this question, but I'll put it on the recording anyway, is the work I'm now doing with the millennium generation, this younger group of people. And, ages up through early 30s. So 20-somethings like the young folks you're working with.
Right.
And I've had this discussion with a number of my tech friends, and they're going, yeah, that's probably so. When a radical new thing comes, so in terms of things that change the world, things that really add value, the computers, the networking, the internet, the stuff that I've been fortunate enough to be around and work on, and legitimately have changed the world. And that's the kind of thing we need to have the college folks come out and go, let's go do another one of those. Don't talk to me about Thorold derivatives and package this and subprime now and all that financial mumbo jumbo. Go do another internet, or go do something else that really just changed the way the world works. But when the new thing comes along, and this I heard long ago from an AT&T executive, maybe 20 plus years ago, when the new thing comes along, the first thing that happens is the people who are there at the time the new thing appears use the new thing to do what they're already doing. They do their old things in a new way. So when you look at the way I use the internet, the way you use the internet, it's a new way of doing the old thing. My paradigm when I came up through the ranks is memos and letters. And okay, now we have this electronic version of it, and it can go everywhere, it can do everything, but it's still this sort of point-to-point or point to many points. And one of the reasons email breaks down now is it's not really a mesh technology. It's a point-to-point technology that we're trying to use as a mesh. It doesn't work very well, but that's what we're doing. But it's the old thing done with the new technology. But then the next set of things that occurs is when you first show up and the technology is already there, you start doing different things with it. That's one of the enormous differences between our group coming through this and saying, yeah, I'm savvy, I use the internet, I do all this stuff, I'm hip on all this stuff, but that's the Facebook generation. That's this new set of people who are consistently, more than consistently, somewhat permanently connected. They use the internet and the communication technologies in a much different way. I think it's terrific. I also think it has some issues, but we'll talk about the terrific part first, then we'll talk about the issues. The terrific part is that they are far more open And they are far more interconnected in a globally scalable way than our paradigm would ever allow, because they are not point-to-point. They build meshes. They build peer-to-peer networks that are these combinations of so many different connections and no central control point. That they just go out and connect themselves with the world. And their world can be quite expansive, and they're persistently in contact. And they get wiggy when they're not. So the great part of that is that it drives towards a smaller planet. It drives towards much more connectivity. It drives towards much more about knowing about the other parts of your worldly body. It drives more towards this analogy that we've come up with here of the cells in the body and the bodies on the planet, and all the cells talking to each other and communicating without ever going through any central spot. The extensions of the point-to-point communication, drawing something down from a web page or sending an email, won't ever get there. Way too cumbersome. But this mesh can. And that's what these younger people are building, and that's their expectation and their requirement as they come into the workplace and they come into how they're doing things. They want tools, they want capabilities, they have expectations. That's how they do their work. And if those aren't there, they demand them and build their work paradigms and their value creation paradigms in that way. It's one of the reasons why the software company work is so exciting, because we build software that helps do that. So it appears to an old school guy like me to be very chaotic and very strange. Org charts don't matter that much. Someone in a different organization may have an opinion on something I'm working on, and not only do I have to take it, I might want it. They may have this creative orthogonal view that I'm not getting from my group. And when you put something together that allows that to occur, boom, instant value creation. But in order for that to work, you need to be very open. You need to be very receptive. You can't be guarded. It's a lot of the characteristics and attributes that we've been hoping would show up. A lot of these younger people have. That's the way they work. And as more of them show up and begin to supplant the ways that some of the work has been done, I think that's going to have tremendous value for the planet. The people who want to stay connected are coming, and they're growing, and they have to have it. So I think that part's really great. Some of the parts that aren't so great, however, is that many of these technologies are asynchronous. Asynchronous. They don't actually, as opposed to bisynchronous. You and I are in a bisynchronous interaction right now, even though this camera is recording. I'm not talking to the camera. I'm talking to you. I'm noticing you're nodding your head. You're listening. We're interacting. We're asking questions. And if I say something really stupid, I'm going to get an emotional reaction from you.
Right.
That doesn't work into a computer. So they're doing instant messaging, they're making postings on their Facebook pages, they're doing all this stuff, but it's not, the emotional, energetic interchange is much weaker. And asynchronous allows you to have some strange thing come your way and you react, but then you have a chance to step back and decide whether you're going to answer or not. And the development of the emotional and the energetic interchanges is weaker. So my observation, many of the younger generation is not very good in what we'll call belly to belly. Two people within the 6 or 8 feet or whatever it is of each other's energy fields, and the energy fields themselves couple. That is a different interaction than doing it into a computer. So they're terrific on the computer, they're not so good in person. That's worrisome to me. It's not fatal or anything, but it's something that I hope evolves into something that is better